Hi everybody, Renee Clark from the University of Pittsburgh Swanson School of Engineering. This is part 2 of the descriptive statistics video. In the part 2 video, we will discuss 2 additional types of descriptive statistics or statistics for variability, the range and the interquartile range. In addition, we will also discuss the important concept and the related concept of percentiles. Okay, in part 1 of the video series, we talked about standard deviation and variance as our first 2 measures of variability. 2 additional measures of variability are the range and the interquartile range. Okay, you've probably heard of the range before. It's actually the simplest of the statistics for variability. It's defined as the difference between the largest and the smallest data points in a set of data that you might have. Okay, so let's say we have a set of data such as this. It has 10 data points. If we wanted to determine the range for this, we would make sure our data points are ordered. Okay, and then we would take our largest value in our data set, subtract off our smallest value, in this case 2. Our range for this set of data would be 54. Now an large issue with the range is that it is extremely sensitive to outliers. Okay? So in pops the interquartile range, which is much less sensitive and more robust to outliers. Okay? It's defined as the spread or the amount of the spread of the middle 50% of your data. Okay? So let's step through how you would determine the interquartile range. Okay? So we're going to take the same set of data here as we had initially. Okay? It's ordered. There are 10 pieces of data. Okay? To determine the interquartile range, which we abbreviate IQR, okay, what you need to do is determine the middle point of your data. Okay? That actually is right here where this red line is. Okay? Because with 10 pieces of data, there are 5 items below the vertical line, 5 items above. So the 5 and 5 add to 10. This is your middle point. We will define Q1, or the first quartile, as the median or the middle of the lower half of this data. So that's right there. We will define Q3, or the third quartile, as the median or the middle of the upper half of the data. That will be right there. Okay. The interquartile range is then Q3 minus Q1, or in this case, 19 minus 7, or 12. Notice that there's a large difference between our 2 different measures of variability. The range equal 54, the interquartile range 12. Okay, and that's because of this outlier in the data, which really affects the value of the range. So when you have outliers, it's better to use the interquartile range in this case to measure your variability. Okay, on to the related concept, very important concept of percentiles, or a percentile. Okay, so if I tell you your exam score is at the 80th percentile, then what that should tell you is that 80% of the exam scores are below yours. Okay, so I have some exam data here on the right, and there are 10 scores, or 10 pieces of exam data, sample size of 10. The 80th percentile is right here at the score of 95. Okay, that's the 80th percentile. Okay, and that's because 8 out of 10 of the scores, or 80% of them, are below the score of 95. Okay, so 80th percentile is actually pretty good, right? If you're in the 80th percentile, quite good. Okay. Now quartiles, which we talked about on the previous slide, are specific types of percentiles. Okay, remember quartiles? Q1 is the first quartile, Q3 is the third quartile, and when we subtracted Q1 from Q3, we got the interquartile range, which represented the spread of the middle 50% of the data. Okay, but quartiles are special types of percentiles in that they divide your ordered data set into 4 parts, each having the same sample size. Okay, so picture here that you have some ordered data. Okay, the first quartile, or Q1, is that point in your data such that 25% of the data points are below it. Okay, so likewise, Q3, or the third quartile, okay, is the point in your data set such that 75% of the data points are below Q3. Okay, 25 plus 25 plus 25 will give you the 75%. Okay, so you can see why we call Q3 minus Q1 the spread of the middle 50%, right? Because it's when you subtract the 25% below Q1 from the 75% below Q3, you'll get that middle 50%. Okay, Q2 here in your data is the point in your data such that 50% of the points are below it, right? So it would be 25 plus 25. Q2 is also known as the median, or the middle point. Thank you for watching.